Hey folks, Mr. Justin here with Secret Weapon Miniatures and another Workbench Wednesday. Work continues on the Stompa this week that I am building for the Nova Open Charitable Foundation raffles. Yeah. First, let me say thank you for tuning in again. It's always good to have company, and I really look forward to spending my time with you every Wednesday. Of course, if this is your first time joining me, please remember to like, subscribe, click the little bell, and do all the things you need to do to make sure you don't miss any future episodes. And definitely keep track of us on Facebook and Instagram. So, Stompa, 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 Stompa. Today I'm doing something a little bit different with the camera. Because, I can get the keyboard out of here now. This darn thing is so big, having the top-down camera just didn't make any sense. So here's where the Stompa is now. I've been starting to add some of the accoutrement. Got the first part of the gun attached. Head is attached. And I have you can see some ridiculous gap filling that I now have to repaint those sections. What else I have? Let's see. Pew! The last of the hardware components, so the shoulder pieces, the little bit that goes around the base here. So many little widgets. Oh my gosh, this little handful of little widgets, which includes all of the, or should include all of the flat panels. Nope, those are all over here. So then I've got all of the remaining up armor and whatnot. And I've decided, because I have so many of these wonderful little orchiglyph plates, that I'm actually going to get rid of some of the freehand, because I definitely would prefer to use the plates. Welcome, Miniature Mayhem. I'm glad you woke up in time to watch live. Man, going back to bed sounds nice, though. All right. Let's see. I actually have absolutely no idea where to start at this point, because there is still so much to do and so little time to get it done. I really need to have this finished this week, because next week I need to get to work on the dungeon display for Kubla Khan, which has to be done by the end of that week, because then I will be at Kubla Khan, and it will be too late. Oop, more glyphy plates. Those go over here. I also grabbed some of my little imperial symbols, and something stuck to me. So I've got a couple of these widgets. Come on, come on. Focus in the front. Anyway, get the idea. And we've got the little banner stand, and all right. So I have to decide where I'm going to start. So many options. Well, for a second at least, I will turn off autofocus and actually look at some of the work I've done on a few of the pieces. So this, to get that metallic effect, and I'll probably have an opportunity to do it today, but I'm not sure. But to get that kind of, not hammered, but worn metal look, what I do is I actually roughly dry brush it several times, going back and forth between the colors, and as well as a bit of stippling, just to create some texture in that metal. And then, of course, gave it a wash with the old oil paint from the weathering line. And yeah. Today, I'm actually going to bust out some tools that I don't think I've ever used on video before, and see if I can blow some minds. We are also joined today by my dog, Ophia, because normally I kick her out for Workbench Wednesday, but today, when I did, she started nosing the door and butting up to come in, so I have let her in. So there may be an interruption or two as Miss Puppy here demands my attention. Oh, good girl. All right. So let's get rid of the gap fills. And clean my glasses. If only I had some isopropyl at my desk. Oh, wait. I do! All right, now I think I can paint. Okay, look at that. All right. We are going to bust out some ink. I'm going to start with a little bit of Payne's Gray. All right, and my gap fill is over here. There we go. Yeah, you guys can see that. All right. And for the gap filler itself, I used wood putty, as I often do. It is paintable, stainable, sandable, inexpensive, dries in 15 minutes. Paint back on that. Check the gaps over here. See if I want to add some shade anywhere, and I do. Setting some airbrushing. Might as well go nuts. Get that arm on this side. Got some glue spillage there, so I'm just cleaning up that whole area. And I'm going to make this panel, since there's a weld seam here, different. Well, all right. There we go. Rinse this out. Doop. So, Mayhem, what part of the world are you watching from? All right. That is that. So now it's time to start looking at some of these panels. Some are more obvious than the others in terms of where they go. Loving that piece. All right, so it looks like these two fit on the back here. That's gonna mask some details, so play with that in a minute. Let's go ahead and get some tire black. And hey, Just Rich. Is tuned in, which is a little funny. Since I am actually joined in studio today by Just Rich. We're sharing studio space these days. There's my brush. Yeah, working nights is rough. All right, I'm trying to do that on screen for you, but that's not going to work out so well. I don't want to rest it on those spiky bits in the front, so let me... just get that cable, belt, whatever. Paint the belt, paint the belt, paint the belt. Paint the belt, paint the belt, paint the belt. Whoop. All right. Clean the brush. Put the model back down. Glue things to said model. Well, they definitely go in one and not the other, too. Look at that. All right. Glue. Bloop. Bonds instantly. Still not dry. Hey, Steven, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you again, so to speak. Boom. Made a mess with my glue. I'll clean that up later. Woo, let's not push that off the stand. Oh, good. It's stuck to my thumb, but not the model. Oh, cyanoacrylate. You so crazy. What the heck? As much as I hate the stuff, time for some zip gear. We do not have the time to just sit here all day waiting for glue to dry. All right, that's that, this, that, diggity dack. Rhino door, that's part of the gun. Oh golly. What's next? Why did that do that? What is under here? There's something on the bottom of my stand. That's nervous making. Anyway. All right. It's time to glue. We're going to put on all the spiky bits and stuff so that I can make a new pass across the body. Get everything sorted. Blend it all together. Oh my gosh, I'm sitting here saying, well, all right, I might as well sort these out. But the whole pile, it's the whole pile. So many of those spiky bits. I love it. I love it. Seriously, there's got to be a couple of dozen of these. I love it. That's for the shoulder, which is good because I was looking for those parts. That. I don't even know if that's for this. Oh my gosh. Also for the shoulder. Okay, well, that's a lot of bits. Got this guy too. I think that can actually go here if I wanted to. There if I wanted to. Oh, looks like you can go here in place of the rhino door. Might do that. All right, and I've got all of my little platform bits. Oh, silly me. When I put the guard in place, I had not finished detailing the dials. Well, that's great. That gives me an opportunity to do something I don't normally do. Well, I don't think I've ever done on camera. I mean, I do this a lot. That's why this bin is so easy to get to. These are my Sharpie pens. Now I've got most of the colors they make right now, and from a couple of different sets. I've got my metallics in here as well. And yeah, the great thing about enamel pens, they're enamel pens. So I need a little bit of yellow for my gauges. So I'm going to get in here with a pen and put the yellow on. Boop. Boop. I've got a gauge. What on here? Oh, that doesn't have its white yet, though. Anything else need to be yellow? Nope. All right, I'm going to get black to do the cables on this one. In fact, often when I'm doing figures, like if I'm playing 40K or Infinity or something, and I need to, and I finished painting and I need to edge the base again to make it black, just use a pen. I've got one of the big fat Sharpies, and I just hold the base of it. Shoop. Just go around it. Easy peasy. Now I need some red, because all of these gauges should be in the red. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Not as easy now that the stand is in place, but the little armor piece. Gonna need a small one. Which is why this cup is also easy to reach. These are my micron pens. Love my microns. 0.5 millimeter nibs. All right. That works just fine. That one back. I don't expect to need the microns again. Put it in the correct pegs. All right. So that is that. And yeah, here, I'll give you a good example here of one of the fun things you can do with this. So this is my silver pen. I'm just going to highlight each of the nuts and bolts. Tap, 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 right? Remember, I use pencils, pens, all of that, all the time. I remember years ago, somebody gave me grief for that. I was using pencils on a model in a store. And for some reason, dude was seriously been out of shape about it. Like, this is miniature painting, not miniature drawing. And I was like, what? I have pencils, I have pens. I'm working on a model. Like, I can use all the tools in my arsenal. Anything that makes this a touch easier, right? You only have so much time to get most of your projects done. So if I can speed that up just a touch, I will. And of course, I love to do use my watercolor pencils. Lots of stuff that I'll use those for probably today. So there's that weld seam right here. I'm going to hit that as well. Watch this. Boom. It's enamel paint in a pen. It's kind of amazing, but totally not. Save that because I'm going to airbrush those different colors. Oh, in fact, I should probably not do this yet because I am going to do some additional airbrushing on the back, on all of it. But since I had them out, I wanted you to get a chance to see that trick. And yeah, we'll come back to those in a bit. Yeah, I've definitely heard from folks that airbrushing is cheating. But mostly the complaint I hear from show judges is that airbrush models tend to look airbrushed. The smoothness of them and whatnot. There is a visible style to most airbrush pieces. All right, Fletcher, we definitely have to talk about cleaning up mold lines when we do trades in the future. Good news is I don't feel that bad about some rough orky bits. But I do need the ends smooth so I can attach them. All these have their little stubbies still on them. Oh, and regular viewers will have noticed that I did not have previews this week. I've only been able to work on this, finishing up bases that are on their way to the warehouse for the June update. I guess I can tell you about a preview, and that's because we're getting ready to launch a line of Gaslands accessories. This will include brass etch upgrade sheets. I'm going to add certainly resin components, barrels and whatnot. And I'm going to start working with a sculptor to get some figures made so folks can have their crew as well. Hey. That's got to be my one. No one else gets through. Nope. Anyone does if I forget to put it on Do Not Disturb. Eric is definitely not my wife. Yeah, if you're coming to KublaCon in California, Northern California, at the end of the month, I will be teaching classes. We will also have the paint, pigments, and whatnot, and the dungeon tiles for sale at the Every Little War booth. We'll also have a very limited quantity of Angry Sheep because on Saturday they will be playing the giant game of Angry Sheep again. And I found a few last cases, so I'll drag that out. And I cannot wait to play a giant version of my game. I mean, seriously, they've got like sheep like this and big old dice, and it's a giant version of the game, and people love it. And I've heard about it for years at KublaCon now. I think this is the second or third year. Must be the second. And yeah, it was a real huge hit last year, so I loved hearing about that. And now I get to see it. Holy goodness. There are a lot of these. And I noticed that before I realized I had to clean them all up. Holy cats, that one really has some flash in it. All right. Between those and all of these, whew, let's get to getting. So many places we can decorate. So let's, heck, let's just get going. I'm gonna grab this one. How do you attach? You attach like that. Okay. Well, Stephen, you'll be happy to see the stuff we've got coming. Ah! Oh, it's because there's paint all over it, Justin. Don't want to glue paint to paint. Not particularly. Oh, cyanoacrylate. I love you and I hate you. Oh my gosh. All right. Now that I've gotten glue all over this panel, it's time to admit that I'll just need lots of zip kicker today. All right. Why so wobbly? There we go. So that's our first little extra spike. Oh my god, I got a feeling now this is going to take forever. Especially since I'm still finding flash. Stop that. Right there. A little bit of glue, a little bit of glue. Chunk. That's the way. I like it. All right. How about one of a big piece? More in the front. fun. See into the vehicle that way. Step it in the door there. Might do that. Might do that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. This one will not be at a jaunty angle, unlike its brethren, so far, at least. Yeah, I'm excited to introduce my son to Gaslands as well. I think Seamus is really going to love it. He has a phenomenal pile of Hot Wheels and Matchbox already. And okay, this is totally random, but do yourself a favor today. Hit YouTube and look up the Marble Olympics. Glad you did. Came to mind because I was thinking about the Hot Wheels stuff. My kid was into watching the some of the custom track build videos for Hot Wheels. So for a while, the house was full of new track ideas. So my son loves to build. Yeah, in retrospect, I definitely should have done this part, you know, before painting. But I wasn't sure I was going to use them all, or any. The more I thought about it, the more absolutely necessary it seems. I mean, what kind of self-respecting orky thing is not absolutely covered in spiky bits? Or DACA, or both. And this one has the DACA covered, so it needed some spiky bits. See, Jess knows about the Marble Olympics. I was introduced to them by Kevin Clark, who said much the same thing to me. He's like, this is apropos of nothing, but go do this. You'll be glad you did. And he was correct. I keep thinking, all right, I must be close to finished with these things. No, no, there's still so many more. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But I took this off the stand because it's just too wobbly up there for all the pushing I'm doing. Yeah, Steven and I both know Kevin, and Kevin is very fond of random things on YouTube. So if there's something random that I recommended on YouTube, chances are good it started with Kevin. There's still so many. See, we have to talk about random YouTube things, because otherwise we're going to run out of things to say while I just sit here gluing for the next hour and a half. Yeah, I've been cranking away at this almost every day, trying to make sure it gets done on time. It needs to be in Chicago at the end of the month. Or not Chicago, Virginia, excuse me. All right, sip of water here. Wow, cool. Well, I'll definitely have to check out the Lego builds from Jang's Bricks. That sounds great. Yeah, buildings are one of my favorite things to do. Buildings and cargo spaceships. Specifically cargo ships. I don't know why.
Hey.
Okay, see that was my wife. So many fiddly bits. All right, that I have to see, because that would only be important. All good. Just a reminder. Got 2 on that one. Yeah. No, seriously, and I'm not even like close at this point. I mean, you guys are just gonna be here all day while I glue. There's a handful of these. I've got the plates. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. All right. I say it's so much fun. I may actually run out of ideas for where to put these darn things, though. Hmm. Yeah. There are places I'd like to put them that I need to remember, like the arm would need to move, and I mean, I'd have to make this the most realistic model in the whole wide world, but I'd still like it to have the impression that it could, actually move like it's supposed to. Dog, what are you doing over there? Dog things. You're the weird one, playing with dollies all day. Or stand. I want this taller because I'm going to start actually on a couple other spots. A little higher. Take you with me. Woo! All right, and I'm going to add some here to also cover up the ejector pins. Blorp. Kablorp. All right. And let's get another spiky bit on there. What else do I want? What else do I want? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Right there. All right, I'm going to take a break from these, glue on a couple of panels, and get back to painting. Let's see, so I've got a couple of these big panels. I don't know if or where they're meant to be used. I suppose I could check the instructions, but that seems crazy. Why would I do that? Nope. Just says place them randomly. Do your thing. I can do it. So many Ripley's. All right. Let's do it. Let's glue some stuff. Unfortunately, I can't really glue them to the Forge World section because it's so contoured everywhere. That'll work. Pew. Not sure why this piece says pew, but it does. Yeah, I'm going to run out of model before I run out of Gribblies. I love it. That is just fantastic. Make this one like a little mud flap down here, though. Oh no, I have glue on my finger. Hello, mud flap. Oh, that's bendy. That's not going to work. Darn it. Good thing there's glue on it already. Where are you going to go? I really am running out of model before I run out of stuff. That is fantastic. realistically even fit more of these things on here. The correct answer is if I'm orky enough. Big glue ball in the front of that. I actually really want to treat on YouTube or something today. Hit YouTube or even Spotify and look up Keith Lowell Jensen, comedian. He is damn funny. All right. Look at all those little gribblies. Gribblies everywhere. Ooh, can it be orky enough if the spiky bits don't have spiky bits? Now I need to put a spiky bit on a spiky bit. Because you were absolutely right. That seems like a necessity. All right, here we go. Here we go. What's a good one? Ooh, right there. So you can see the spiky bit on the spiky bit right here. Let's see. Or maybe right here. Right there. Certainly the largest ones, right here. Ooh, right there. Yep, that's my answer. Thank you, Mayhem, for pointing out the proper thing to do in these circumstances. And I don't want to paint the grots in here, so I've just been covering them up. Bye-bye. All right. This panel will cover up that section. All right. How about a couple of little ones? Can I get little ones on the front? There's got to be somewhere to put a little one. Nothing to say they can't go on the weapons either. Speaking of which, I did finish the blade. I suppose I should show that off. Or at least, mostly. So, can I... Nope. All right. Nope. No. Not gonna happen. Nope. No, sir. Don't like it. But's too smooth. Never heard of that. Today's a very random Ren and Stimpy quote for you. Also my favorite Ren and Stimpy quote of all time, actually. One more skull. Even orky things need more skulls. Go. All right. This thing really is crazy. And again, I mean, we talk about the size of this thing. It's bigger than my head. It's so big. No, these like rather that way because if we attach it properly, right there, hanging down. What about the big teeth? Might have to heat that one and bend it, so that's not going to happen. All right, I can finally put this zip kicker away. Pooch is back to sleep. I don't have to worry about her. And I can paint again. I can go to my happy place. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot my Imperial bits. I do want my Imperial bits. Where'd that go? All right, good thing I put away the zip kicker. Oh, and that panel in the front where there's the opening, because there's a door that normally goes there and a little grot sticking out. Oh, I do not want. No grot. Right, I was gonna put the other facey bit on here, because I like that bit. But it does not fit. This is going to be a trick. I'll actually probably just make a piece of plastic card, or put a piece of plastic card here, because I'll need to cut off the rivets there to make that work. All right, zip kicker goes away again. Bye-bye. Switch brushes. All right, and we are back to it. Save your horse. What? rest of it, yes. It's not entirely a non sequitur. All right. Coming back through, of all things, with the Payne's Gray to go around these. Make sure they're dark. Turn on the compressor. Wow, this stuff's coming out real light. Excuse me. Get that big impact crater here. Shooby-doop-doop-doop-doop. Shooby-doop-doop-doop-doop. Oh, big old gap. Now a big bright white spot. Oh, buddy. Choom. He's looking at you. Rawr. Rawr. So now the question for me is, do I want to add some Imperial colors on here like I had on the front, right? My Dark Angels, my Imperial Fists. Or do I just keep it all rusty? And I'm having a hard time deciding. I mean, I do enjoy painting rust. Kind of, I guess. It's okay. Not saying it's my favorite. But all right. Phew. That's the way, I like it. All right, cleaning up. Phew. well, I suppose at the end of the day, I should just go rusty. So, from this point, time to get my groove on. All right, switch brushes. It's infinity time, which always makes me happy. There's an infinity tattooed on my left arm, and I do not expect to be sad about that ever. Shut up, bird. Some of us are working. I will eat you. Spiky bits. 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 Rusty bits. Weetabix. Wait, what? No Weetabix. Spiky bit on a spiky bit. So you gotta have a spiky bit on a spiky bit, right? That's how orky it is. Even its pointy bits are pointy. Or half pointy bits, rather. One would assume that their pointy bits are pointy, because that's why they'd be pointy bits. I can language. I am smart. I make words go. Right, rusting the whole thing, not just the new bits. Let's make you more red. You're gonna be red now too. Some nice fresh rust on those panels. Spiky bits, why am I painting you? So now I'm adding some spots of more extreme color. So there's that weld seam in the armpit, and I'm going to rust the forward half of that, or backward half of it. Yeah, the backward half of the forward portion. So I'm making that nice and red right now. Help differentiate between those two panels. Those need to be brighter. These need to be darker because focus should go towards the face. You must focus the face. I thought the head was finished, but clearly I'm wrong. How could I possibly have thought that was finished? All right. That's good to go. Brush, clean out. And of course, I'm just rinsing out my brush with water first. Then some isopropyl. And water again to get out any residual isopropyl. Because you don't want it in there when you add paint. And just clean out my hopper threads. There we go. Time for a little purple. My dog is awake again. Hey, poochers. Doing my shading in purple for that old rust look. Trying to get some panel lines here. Get a little modulation going towards the top. Oh, Steven, Shrek the Musical is coming to Sacramento. We already have our tickets. Of course, I can't help but think of you. Too heavy. Just right. Pooch. You don't like that compressor, huh? Definitely seems a bit sketchy. There we go. I should move that camera up for you again. Hang on for the ride. Oh, that doesn't go any more forward than that. All right. So, it's about as good as that's going to get. Try bringing this in, out, I don't know. See the colors starting to come together. That purple's very bright, vibrant in the camera, though. So I'll tone that down a bit. In just a second, in fact. Oh, now the dog wants out. Here you go, Pooch. You better go. Don't just look at me. All right. Oh, actually, Jess, would you see if she needs to go all the way out?
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks. That just occurred to me. She is no longer content to lay about in here with us. She probably needs to go do a little something, something. I've got a supply order out. Materials to start testing our ink formula. I've been very amused this week. I had missed all the launch stuff about the new GW contrasts or whatever. Until I started getting tagged all over the place by people that keep telling me, like, hey, look, Games Workshop just launched secret weapon washes. Now that I've seen them at Head Degree, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing for years. They are pretty great. All right. A little bit of yellow. Get some highlights back in here. But very lightly. And that's why one of the many reasons I'm using the Infinity for this work. Because I can get nice little highlights that way. There you go. Very easy for me to do with this brush. comes a river comes an ocean, carrying ships that bear women Gotta hit each of these little spiky bits. Each of the little dribblies, even though they're going to get paint. Not sure what yet. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to hit it with some sepia. Such Stompa! Now with that arm on there, I can't get to the spot I want to get. Well, I'll make it work. Oh yeah. I love my infinity. Go ahead and get right in there. Look at that. Easy peasy. Glaze here as well. Kaboom! Looking pretty rusty to me. Those purples are just so vibrant here, though. Let's see what's going on there. Is it really lighted? Where's that panel? That panel. to do. That's all right. Happy accidents and all that. Okay. Clean the brush, and let's get to do some proper actual brushwork. So through the end. Pew. And clean. Oh, nozzle's a bit schmutzy. I'll have to clean that later. Oh yeah, quite a bit of dry paint in the nozzle. Interesting. I wouldn't expect it from this session. Well, doesn't matter. I'm moving on to regular brushes. Turn off that compressor so we don't have to hear it anymore. Get rid of the airbrush cup, airbrush bottles. Put on my towel. Alrighty. So one thing I need to do is get all my panel lines back in here. I'm going to do that right now with another Sharpie. Just black line needs a bit. So I continue my horrible practice of drawing on miniatures. Like a monster. But you'll see right away, it makes a nice difference. There it goes. You can actually see those panels again. Have some differentiation between them. And I could do this with an oil wash. I could do this with an acrylic wash. I could do it with pigments. The best place to start, if you're just looking for black, or, you know, other color they make a pen for, just hit it with a pen. Heck, the Millennium Falcon I did, and the original, were done with technical pencils for all those lines. So I've got 1/3 of a millimeter tech pencil. I use that a lot too. But here I need much higher contrast. And of course I will come back and highlight a bunch of these edges with a watercolor pencil. Also like some kind of monster. Periodically you do need to clean the schmutz off your pen. And if that happens, it means you're pressing a little hard and you're actually scraping up some paint. So don't do that. Trust me. It sucks. Ooh, or that. That sucks too. No slipping. Rum-bum-bum-ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Mm-hmm. So many panels. Whose bright idea was it to paint this model anyway? Oh, wait. I should know better than listen to myself. It'll be fun, he said. You don't even have to keep it when you're finished. Just give it away. Stop it. Schmitzy pen again. Slip Justin. Don't do that. All right. Now it's time to come back and highlight. You can also do plenty of actual weathering work with my pencils here as well, but for now, just gonna do some edge highlighting. Just using the flat of the pencil. Hit some of these edges. If it's a little white, I can always burnish it in. It's a watercolor pencil, after all. Although I'm not loving the white today, so normally I do. It's my go-to. Today, let's try some yellow. That's the answer. So it's going to get dry brushed in a minute. Right here. Yeah, that one needs a highlight. Just that one. There. A little bit here. Right along that seam. There, right here. There we go. So now, good, it does show in the video. You can now see that the panels are much, much better defined. Let's get this in nice and close and do the manual focus thing for you. Pew! There we go. So there's all of those many spiky bits. All right. One of my favorite things about this kit, because it is so incredibly ridiculous, is that it comes with all of these rockets. And you literally just glue them onto this bit of the gun. So it winds up covered in rockets here too. It's just fantastic. So goofy. And this bit goes on top of here. The missile has a gun and target on it, which is also adorable. And this big old tang is going to go on here to load it up. Pew! Nope, you can't even see that. It's ranunculus. All right, but what's next? That's the question. In fact, I know what the answer is. Well, do I want to paint or do I want to pen? Let's get some paint going. I'm going to need reds and white. Get some of these icons done. Pencil away for now. And I want needle white. I like it. Lorp. High pigment solids, or high solid pigments. And which red? Comet red. Pew. Oh. Need a paintbrush. My cleaner thing. Oh, I forgot rust this thing. It goes on the shoulder. Because even the DACA has DACA. Worry about that guy later. For now, let's figure out what needs to be done here. Alright, so I'm going to start thinning my paint just a touch here. This is going to be tricky. Did not plan ahead properly. And I will paint these roughly because I do not believe that grots are careful painters or that orcs care. Funny that way. And again, I'm just using the flat of the brush to get these because I don't worry about the sides of it so much. Get through those nice and quick. Back for another raised one. All the teeth. Nom 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 nom. Man, I make a nice paint. If I say so myself. I may be biased. Go. Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. And whose bright idea was it to cover this thing in orky glyphs and all that? Man, I'm just batting 1,000 today. All right, let's get some Comet Red action going on here. It's Neo Burnt Red under it. But the camera's not top down, so you don't know, and you probably don't care at that point because you can't see it. Yeah, it's a little too pink in this case. I'll use it as a base, but put a different red on top of it. Go back to the burnt red. I do love my Comet Red though. Blurp, 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 blurp. Texture in there. All right. while that does its thing, I will take some dark iron, hopefully. Yeah. Put it in order at the warehouse. What I may do is actually just issue myself a gift voucher so I don't have to go in. I kid. I'm in tomorrow. Going into the warehouse to do some training for the staff. We've got a new full-time resin caster, and oh, it must be the bead. Transitioning one of the existing casters to a full-time mold making position and specialty casting. We do some contract casting work now. We're ramping that up a bit. But yeah, showing them how to do proper 2-up molds. So that we can make master positives properly for those complicated pieces. We've got some great big monsters coming for one of our clients too. Really look forward to seeing how those turn out. Just dry brushing very gently the dark iron on the spiky bits. Help shine them just a touch and make their cut marks and whatnot a little more visible. Hey, Greg. Thanks for tuning in. Still too much paint on that. There's spiky bits way up there. What are they doing way up here? Oh, wait. I keep forgetting that I've done some silly things today. Woo! Brush flinger. Flinging brushes. All right. Tickety boom. Tickety boom. Ah, I have a gauge on here somewhere that needed its white dot. There it is. It's that. Get my needle burnt red. And yeah, the training at the warehouse should be fun. It won't take the day, but both the position in the mold making role and my production manager, Richard, already did already made their molds. You need to go in and I'm going to cast them, see what works, see what additional gates and vents we have to cut in the silicone. And then you cast that to make your master positive, so that if it's working, you can use that master positive to make a mold anytime you like, and it's going to be the exact same mold every time. Much more reliable than things like the split molds, right, where you just cut it, which is the most common way of doing that. There we go. Really lucky to have good people working for me too. The warehouse team is just amazing. Although our new full-time caster was in a car accident last night. Some kid ran a red light, hit him head on. He's fine. Big goose egg on his head, he says, but otherwise, no more serious injuries, it seems, which is wonderful. Getting all these with the dark iron. Just straight. No dry brush for those bits. I want them nice and dark. Brush control, brush control. I've got some brush control. Who else wants to be metal? You are so metal. Yeah, I'm really not loving that, so I'm going to change that. All right. Now it's time to do the rivets like a monster, too. Because I'm just a horrible, horrible person. Using inappropriate tools on my models all the time. Oh. No glue ball. Then you won't work later. All right. All those things are out of the way. Get the Sharpie cup. Pshum! Get my silver Sharpie. Your silver metallic. My gray one and my silver one look so similar. It's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. You see how much quicker and easier this is with the pen than it is with the paintbrush. That's a nice bright silver at that. Can't get into the engine compartment there, that little fan area rather. So I'll leave that. Build seam spot right here again. See? All of our little shiny bits. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. Ducka, ducka, ducka. I have to wonder if the designer had fun with this one, or if it was just another day in the office. No moving. Be here all day booping. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Ah, my God, there's so many more rivets over here. Why are there so many rivets? Oh, wait. It also wouldn't be orky if it weren't riveted. And I'm sure watching me do this is riveting. Sorry. I feel bad about my choices. That's a lie. Love bad jokes. We had a long time tradition of looking up new bad jokes every morning over breakfast. The tradition has kind of died out because we've run out of new jokes. We haven't seen a new joke in a while online. But we do have quite a collection of really bad jokes in our heads now. My wife is a middle school math teacher and would start the class with today's horrible joke. Which this week included the wonderful joke, why don't triangles like circles? Because they're pointless. Ooh, why do physical therapists make the best zombie? Sprains. Oh, man. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Greg. That's awful. That is just awful. My pen not working. I'm getting low. Had this pen forever. Well, Greg, have a good day in the office. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we'll catch you next week, too. Oh, hey, look at that, folks. Speaking of, we're actually at an end. Wow. 2 hours flies by when you're poking rivets with a pen. Well, as I wrap this up, let me say again, thank you for tuning in. Really is a pleasure to have you here with me. I look forward to every Wednesday with you. weldy seam here. Is rivet-tastic. Rivet-rific. And this is all before the pigments, some oils. Oh, I don't even know. Oh my God, it's going to be so great. All right. But for the moment, that's what we've got. Again, thanks for tuning in, folks. Happy hobbying, and I'll see you next week. Cheers from the crew at Secret Weapon Miniatures.